So I bought some pretty rough looking Lucas horns to fit to my Herald, because they're a bargain. One of them sounds, the other does not. But they're usually not too hard to fix, so let's go and have a look at how to do that. Well, first of all, I gave them a really quick sandblast to get the rust and paint residues off. So there they are, cleaned up. So, interestingly, well, if you didn't know, or if you were interested in this sort of thing, so the horns are date marked. You may just be able to make this out. It says the top line says 12V, 12 volts, 4869. So that's the 48th week of 1969. And the other one I can just about make out. I think it's 22nd 69. That means these are appropriate for the car, almost exactly, because it was built on the 1st of December 69. Anyway, they're all clean. Give them another test, and then we'll get on to adjusting or taking apart as necessary. Okay, so we'll do the easy thing first. Just give them a test. It doesn't matter which terminals you use. You can put either positive or negative through both sides. So let's give this a tap to the battery. That one's fine. With this one, nothing happens. Now, if we're lucky, this is going to be an easy fix. This little screw here adjusts the points gap within the horn. There are different variations depending on the year of the horn. The only ones I've ever seen have got this sort of thing, but I've seen illustrations where it's, you know, a slot-headed screw and what have you, but it's the same deal. So hopefully this will move. Yep. So I put that in about a quarter turn. Let's try going out. I can't actually remember which way round this is supposed to go, so let's have a quick check, because if we get it all the way closed, there should be a short. It's reverse threaded. So turning it clockwise, we're all the way out. Turning it anti-clockwise, all the way in. We're not seeing any. Not seeing any continuity between the two terminals, no matter what I do with this adjuster. So, I'm going to take it apart. Now they're not designed to come apart. However, we can cut these rivets off or grind them off, and then the whole thing, the top will come off. the rivets drilled out, and let's have a look inside. So as well as my blasting sand, I would say this looks like it's got a bit wet at some point. So this is the thing that actually makes the noise. So there's an electromagnet that resonates this plate. If I remember correctly, yep, should just... Whoa! Well, there we are. Definitely got wet. So there's plenty of loose muck coming out. I'm going to give this a bit of a hoover, and then we can keep having a look at what's happening. Okay, so there's at least no loose bits in there now. Okay, let me try and remember how these work. So what I think, I have to check on this. What I think happens is we apply voltage across the terminals. That charges the coil. You can just about see under here. Which then attracts the steel hole in the middle of this, diaphragm, which sort of pulls it up. And that moves, or possibly because of that moves. And this ring contacts the points here and opens them, which discharges the coil. Then our diaphragm drops back down again, so it closes the points. So the coil charges again and attracts the diaphragm up, and that moves back and forth. That happens very rapidly, moves back and forth. That's what makes our horn sound. So this is the metal diaphragm resonating inside this body. So there's not much that can go wrong. So I'm just going to do some basic continuity checks. So we should expect contact between here and there, which we're not getting. Okay, so we've got continuity between the first terminal and this this side of the coil, and this side of the points, which means that the coil is intact, which is good. I've also got continuity between this terminal and the other side of the points. So hopefully this is just going to be a case of cleaning those up. I've got a tiny bit of really fine emery paper, and well, we can see we've got rust in there. Okay, contact's back. See if it'll work. Okay, so for testing purposes, I'm just going to throw this back together. So all I want to do is see if it makes a noise. So. But that's fine. So now I'm just going to give all these surfaces a good clean up. May even just be able to reuse these because I've not damaged these rubberized gaskets. I have previously remade them from gasket paper coated in wax oil. So I spray on black wax oil, and that works perfectly well. Those are in the Spitfire. Yeah, then it'd be fix it back together. I have previously used pop rivets. I probably will again, just because I've got them. You could use some nice little hex head bolts, or even if you really wanted to find the proper rivets. Yeah, I'll get this cleaned and back together. So, it's my parts cleaned up. Just going to give this an extra blast of contact cleaner before I put it back together. Luke. Of course, to recheck the important bit. That does still sound. And this does need to be adjusted correctly, because obviously I've fiddled with it before taking the top off the horn. And the way this is described by Lucas is that you should back it off till the horn stops sounding, and then turn it back in a tiny bit. So we'll work backwards. So. Right. Okay, so the way I've just done that, the way I think I probably would in the future, is set my multimeter to measure open circuit, turned my adjuster till the points are just open, and then just backing off so we go back to open circuit again. So we need an open circuit with no power, with no voltage applied, because we want to immediately charge that coil that lives in here. But we also, as soon as the diaphragm moves, we want the points to open. So they need to be just on that balance. And while we're here, and they're both working, I'm just going to run both together. So hopefully that's shown you that these are pretty easy to fix. There's not a lot in there, so there's not a lot to go wrong, and it's all relatively easily serviceable. If you just take, if you need to take the top off, 6 rivets, and it's probably going to be clean the points up and away you go. I've had these snap off before. That was the fate of my Herald's original horns, the reason I replaced them in the first place. Well, not even original. It had 2 low notes on when it came. And at the time I needed to pass an MOT, so it just got whatever I could pick up from Halford's at the time. So if you got some kicking around in the shed or the garage that came off because they didn't work properly, hopefully now you can have a go and fix them. So, and there we got some freshly painted and working horns, and year appropriate for the car as well, which is actually nice to have. So, I'll say thank you for watching, commenting, subscribing, and see you next time.